Hello and welcome to the Incursion podcast, your weekly indie games podcast. We bring you the indie games news that I'm assuming you want to know about considering you're listening to an indie games podcast. We bring you a list of indie games coming out this week. Not a complete list, of course, because there's a shitload of games that comes out. It's just ridiculous. And, of course, I ask super probing questions of my co-hosts that just make them really uncomfortable. It's very nice. I really enjoy it. Today, we actually do not have Josh on the podcast for the first time. It's a little crazy, but I do have Errol. I'm not just doing it by myself. Yeah, Errol's a good guy.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yay.
I didn't kill Josh, don't worry.
I mean, I didn't say I didn't kill him, so. No big deal.
He's probably just he was going to the DMV to renew his license, and he accidentally wrote George like his Twitter handle, and now he has to get that fixed.
That's really complex.
That
was really interesting. He has to get it figured out. The federal government does not understand what his name is based on his social security number or anything.
And with the shutdown, all the employees are like angry.
Oh yeah, that's fair. It'll take a while for him to get his identity back. It's because of the shutdown and everything. So
all he had to do was, I told him not to look at Twitter when he was at the DMV, and it's like, what am I supposed to do? And I was like, read a book.
I think it's easily just as distracting. Maybe he should just like be super focused when he's at the DMV instead.
You think he yeah, you know, if he was reading like Harry Potter and he changed his name to Snape by accident.
I really like the storyline that Josh just basically like puts his name into anything that's associated with him at that given point in time. He's like, I just looked at Twitter, so it's _George. That's my new name.
I just meant like he accidentally put an R, but I could go to that too.
Nope, he went all the way. He no longer is like Josh. He doesn't want me to say his last name because I'm going to butcher it, so I'm just not going to. But he's no longer Josh, what's his last name? He's the _Josh. So what have you been playing this week, Errol? Any cool games you really want to talk about?
Well, actually, I have been playing Moonlighter a lot, and that was last. I mean, I know it released last year, but it's really good.
I know. I put it on my top 10 game of the year.
So did I. And the thing is, I never played through that much of it. So like now I'm doing all the upgrades and upgrading the shop. Well, because I started it on PS4, but then I got the Switch version because it's so much better on Switch. But
you suck.
But then so I just got recently to the same place I was at in the PS4 version, and now I'm like upgrading the shop and doing certain things. But besides that, I played through Y2K.
Yick.
Yes.
As our audience knows it.
Actually, there's a handful of people I saw on Twitter who thought that was the name.
Yeah, I was listening to Sacred Symbols, Colin Moriarty's PlayStation podcast, and he and like Chris talked about it, and they're like, it looks like Yick. I was like, yes, fucking say Yick, dude.
For one of the sites I write for, so I reviewed the game, but I also interviewed the creator. Or the co-creator, because there's two brothers.
Oh, that's cool.
And he said that the Roman numeral was because he felt it gave it more significance, like, you know, other RPGs, like Final Fantasy and other stuff like that use Roman numerals.
I always love when you start a list and then you just say other stuff.
I was going to say Final Fantasy, Lufia 2, which he mentioned a lot. But, like, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, they all use Roman
Dragon
numerals.
Quest.
Yeah.
How could I not say Dragon Quest? Oh.
I was kind of wondering how you excluded Dragon Quest. You're like a big Dragon Quest guy.
Yeah, so I liked it. I gave it a more positive review, but apparently it's pretty divisive. You know, like, if I had to put a number on it, I'd give it like around maybe a 7.9 out of 10. But, like, I see people giving it, like, 5s, so I don't know.
Is there any, like, consensus on why, or are they just giving it 5?
Yeah, some people just, like, don't like the characters or the art style, or, like, the gameplay isn't quite, like, there. Because, so the main character, he's a jerk, but he's, like, learning through meeting, like, meeting a new group of friends, and he's learning like not to be, and like and like some people find him to be like so much of a jerk that it's just like they can't handle it, and then they don't like the other stuff about it.
Does he at least have like, I mean, I don't really need spoilers or anything, but I'm just gonna ask like a simple question, and if people think this is a spoilers, they can eat my ass. Does he have any sort of like redemption arc, or is he just kind of a piece of shit?
It's supposed to be. A lot of people compare it to Scott Pilgrim. If you
how Scott's a big dickhead until like basically the end.
Yeah. But people are like, well, Scott Pilgrim did it better, and like I see a bunch of people, and these aren't really reviewers necessarily, but people like dogpiling on the game, trying to find whatever they can, just looking for bad stuff about it. Like the main voice actor has a history of abuse apparently, and like,
oh damn.
And I'm like, okay, but do you think the creators knew that? I don't think. I mean, the creator seemed like a nice guy from when my interview with him. I don't know. And then like, there's stuff about there's this graveyard in one of the towns, and it has a gravestone for Satoru Iwata.
I'm assuming people took issue with that.
Yeah, people took issue with that. And then there's another part where like there was this case of a girl who like killed herself on a water tower, and they used that like they used they used pretty much the same thing for their plot, like as part of their plot, and people weren't happy with that. But then other people brought up the point of that, like, wait, but this was in like a couple of TV shows, like, and you didn't complain then. Why are you complaining now? It just seems like it's a new cool thing to hate.
Yeah, I mean the whole like. I haven't played Y2K, but just hearing like people who kill themselves on, like she killed herself on a water tower. Do they have like issues with it because it depicts suicide? Like how?
No, it's because of the way that it just doesn't like it doesn't like, oh, it's based on this story. It's just like so obviously that story, like from that story that I guess like I don't really get it, but. And then people were saying the voice acting was bad, but I thought the voice acting was fine. It has one of your party characters is actually voiced by the same voice actor who voices Bakugo in the English dub of My Hero Academia.
Welcome back to the My Hero Academia podcast, everybody. It's time to talk about how I fucking love this series. No big deal. That's super cool, though.
Yeah, it's like he's kind of, at least to me, he's the most notable voice actor in there. And
except for that guy, like,
except for that guy. But and then there's, well, the music. So the music I really like, especially the track by Toby Fox. Actually, contributed a track, and it was stuck in my head for like a week. It's so good.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I haven't played Y2K. I've been wanting to check it out, but like. Honestly, once again, it's another thing that's a very small thing for me to get annoyed by. It's a very small gripe that I have, but does the main character do anything else in combat other than throw records?
He can summon a panda.
But for the most part, he throws records. That's his deal.
Pretty much, he throws records, but like the cool thing is like. It's not just that regular. I had a problem with that. Like, you can go read my review of it. I had a problem because his basic attack never seemed to do much damage, but his other attacks like did way more. And one of his attacks, when he throws records at multiple enemies, it like the little mini game you play is kind of like I don't want to say Space Invaders, but kind of like that. And then there's like. One of the characters, one of their attacks is based off of Super Mario 2, and it's called Bass Drop, and you're picking up an amp and throwing it at the enemy. That's
pretty cool.
That's cool. That's the cool part of the gameplay. There's some other problems with the dodging that I don't like that much, like because it's time based, so it's kind of like I always compare it to Paper Mario. But sometimes instead of just like pressing X at the right time once, you have to do it 3 times in a row, and that can get hard. Even with the time slowing mechanic that they have.
That sounds pretty interesting.
But otherwise...
Yeah, no, I just really hate the fact that he throws records. That really bothers me.
Otherwise, I enjoyed it. It's just like... it's interesting to see how divisive it is.
Well, speaking of divisive, yeah, the games I've been playing are not divisive at all. They're just a big pain in the ass. I've just mostly been playing more. Yeah, right. I've mostly just been playing like Dark Souls 3 and Neo. I did just pick up 2 indie games on PlayStation. Has a flash sale on right now that has a bunch of really good indie games. But I just picked up like Phantom Trigger, and I picked up, I think it's called Planet of Eyes. They both really spoke to me, especially Phantom Trigger reminds me a lot Hyper Light Drifter. So.
Well, I think wait, is Planet of Eyes the one with the robot?
Yeah, it's a little robot.
I played
looks
that.
Really cute.
I played that.
I haven't played anything of it yet. I just thought it looked really cute, and it was only like $2. So,
yeah, I liked what I played of it. Apparently, I didn't do everything because I didn't get the platinum, but like it's a nice little short thing.
Sweet, I'll make sure I get the platinum so I can rub it in your face if there is one. That we do.
Well, did you get the platinum for Desert Child though?
No. Because that game pisses me off, and literally none of my fucking equipment works, and it really bothers me. I can't get it to work. I don't understand how. It's
you have to connect it to the battery.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna get into this. It's a whole fucking thing. My gun doesn't work. None of my fucking equipment works, even though it's connected to the battery. It's so annoying. But this is about the time in this podcast where we get into the news. Our first news story is over on Polygon. It is written by Ashley O. It is the Textorcist. No, I said it right. Textorcist is a bullet hell meets typing game. This game seems like a big pain in the ass to me. That's not part of the article. I just had to say it. A lot of
this is the tagline.
This seems like a big pain in the ass. I honestly, this game looks really interesting. The article doesn't have a whole lot of meat on it other than the brief explanation of what the game is, which is Priest Ray Bibia, I'm assuming, has all he needs: a Bible, a dinky computer, and a lot of nerve. Follow him around town and rid seedy places of demonic presence. The Textorcist plays like a typical overhead bullet hell with the exception. I'm so fucking God. I just can't read sometimes. It's an issue. With the exception of actual weapons on your part. Are you a good multitasker? You better be. To banish a demon, you must finish typing incantations while dodging a storm of attacks. In order to successfully get the incantations across, you have to be within a certain range of the monster. No hiding in the corner, it says in brackets, which I guess that's necessary. Any spelling errors results in having to start the entire chant over again. If you're confident in your abilities to type and dodge to a heavy metal soundtrack, this might be a game for you. And the Textorcist is coming to Windows PC via Steam on February 14th for $14.99. This game does not look like something I will ever play, and just because of that unique mechanic where you actually have to type out the incantations, I don't see this ever actually being ported to consoles. With the exception of the only way I could see this really being done well and not super annoying is if
keyboard peripheral.
Yeah, you would have to have the peripheral of the little touch or the little type pad. That would literally be it. I don't know how you'd play it otherwise.
And then we could finally port Typing of the Dead to modern consoles.
That really probably would have hit me hard if I knew what that game. So you wanted to talk about the Textorcist. What do you want to say about it other than that it's really annoying?
I was going to say, it reminds me of Typing of the Dead, and I'm like, that's cool. Typing plus bullet hell, that sounds insane.
It seems like a huge pain.
I couldn't
because you have to concentrate on both things, and I understand multitasking is a big thing in games nowadays, but this looks annoying, and they can knock your fucking spell book out of your hand, dude, and then you have to go pick it up. I also think it's really funny that they call it a spell book. I'm just I'm pretty sure it's a Bible, but okay. But in their trailer,
right, you never just read the Bible out loud, and then something happens.
No, that has not been my experience with the Bible.
Yeah, neither have I.
Yeah, I've not.
I thought somebody must have
delved deep into that spell book. You know what I mean? Yeah, this game, it's very eccentric, and I'm excited to see what the reviews are for it. But I can't see them being that well. because
I think it's just a really cool concept.
For our next story, we are moving over to Twinfinite. This written by Tom Mayer. It is Pikuniku, free on Twitch Prime before official launch. This is obviously some news that's a little bit past its date by the time that this is going to come out, but it's still really funny.
It's still relevant.
Yeah, it's still relevant. I think it's hilarious.
Did you say relevant?
Shut up.
With a PH?
Twitch Prime subscribers can claim a free PC game here. They link to it starting today until Wednesday, January 23rd, which is being called an early access phase despite the term Twitch confirmed. That all who claim the free offer will be able to keep the game forever before the game before the game's launch on Thursday, January 24th. Just big news that Pikuniku came out early on Twitch. Does it say, I didn't see, but does it say anywhere in this article that like this was on purpose or if it was on accident?
I mean, it's Devolver, so anything is possible.
Yeah, that is a good point. They pretty much just do anything. Pikuniku looks really cool. I've actually seen a bunch of like really decent reviews of it. And it seems like Twinfinite has actually given it, I'm assuming, a somewhat good review, because they said their review is it's a nonsensical cartoon world through its simple art and playful soundtrack, but criticized the variety and creativity of its puzzles. That's kind of interesting.
Wait, it criticizes the creativity of their puzzles? Or the lack of...
Yeah, and creativity of its puzzles. That's why I was like, that's an interesting criticism, just like criticizing somebody's creative vision, I guess. I don't really know. Are you excited for Pikuniku? Are you going to pick it up, Errol? You reviewing it or anything? You want to give me the inside scoop of what you're doing in your everyday life?
What? I've been interested in Pikuniku for a while. I just haven't had the chance to pick it up with all the other stuff coming out around it. But it looks fun.
Yeah, it looks really fun. I literally had absolutely no idea about it until I saw a Devolver tweet about it. And I was like, that looks really cool, and it really reminds me of Woopo. So
yeah,
or at least the art style does. Just because it's like weird, it doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense. But I think it's cool, and I think it's hilarious that freaking Twitch is giving away games that aren't even out yet. It's freaking amazing, guys. Speaking of stuff that's not out yet, we are going to our next story, which is on Twinfinite. I'm just kind of steamrolling through these stories, by the way. Just feel free to just interject. It's pretty cool. We've got this written by Bogdan Robert Mates, who has a pretty decent beard by his picture. I just feel like I need to say that. Yeah, it's an interesting.
What a name.
Supergiant Games releases first major early access update for Hades. This is a game that I am super excited about. Supergiant's Greek mythology-inspired roguelike Hades has received its first major early access update today, titled the Chaos Update. It focuses on features that add variety and lasting value to help keep things fresh while the developers work on more content for the game. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to play Hades until it actually gets a full release, because I'm more in it for the story, because I love Supergiant's writing. But yeah, I'm probably not going to hop in right now. But if you played Hades, might make sense to you. The Chaos Update brings the primordial chaos to Hades, which waits inside Blood Gates and offers blessings with great benefit, but also initial side effects. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this sounds like gibberish. This is a very interesting game. I don't exactly know how to explain it. There's a lot that they're adding to it. Zagreus, I'm going to say Zagreus, has received some love. Having his animations further polished, Lord Hades will now challenge his son to defeat foes without getting hit, while the Skull Crusher, Gorgon, and Mega Gorgon... I'm gonna go with Mega Gorgon. Expand the roster of enemies blocking the protagonist's path. 3 new chambers have been added to both Tartarus and Asphodel. the two areas currently available. All of these changes are joined by a significant amount of balance tweaks. Dashing now stuns unarmored foes for a short while. The Shield of Chaos returns sooner from its special attack. Critical effects will trigger less often, but are more deadly. There's a lot that is in this, but I don't necessarily want to just read off the entire article, because I'd recommend you guys come and give Twinfinite the click. But there is a decent amount of stuff going on in Hades. If you guys are excited about getting into the early access of this, I think you have to do it specifically through the Epic Store, if I'm not mistaken. To anyone aware, announced Hades during this is an early access. It is a very Supergiant take. Yeah, during the Game Awards as an Epic Store exclusive. Yeah, there we go. So if you do want to play Hades, you do actually have to download the Epic Store, but I've heard you also can get free games on the Epic Store as well. I heard that, like, I think you could get Super Meat Boy on there for free not too long ago. I think it was about like 2 weeks ago. So that's pretty exciting. Do you have the Epic Store downloaded? Are you playing Hades every night, Errol?
No, you know what's interesting, and I may have mentioned this when Hades was first announced. I have never played a Supergiant game.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, because that's when I decided that I didn't like you. You're a garbage person. You should play
when Hades comes to Switch, I'll play it.
I love how you and I have the different, like, a completely different philosophy on games. Like earlier when you were talking about how you played Moonlighter on PS4 and then moved to Switch, I do the exact opposite thing. I only play it on Switch if I have to, because I don't have any sort of commute. And if we're being honest, the only time I have to play games is when I'm at my house anyway. So it's like, why not? But yeah, any game that I see come out on Switch, I'll purchase it on Switch because I can't get it on PS4, and then I'll buy it again on PS4, or, of course, because I'm a physical whore, I buy it physically through Limited Run, which I'm still waiting for, guys.
Hey, you know what I saw?
Limited Run.
And you know what I saw physically at GameStop the other day?
Something cool. Did you see something cool?
Moonlighter for Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I actually have Moonlighter for PS4. Yeah, it was published by Merge. They released a really cool fucking collector's edition that came with a really, like, sweet little plush of the slime, and I really, really like it. And I actually spoke about this during our episode on our Games of the Year. Make sure you go check that out. But yeah, they only released it.
Wait,
like,
do you
in the
have
UK.
it?
The collector's edition?
Yeah.
No, I think they only released it in the UK.
Oh.
I'm not 100% sure. The local store that I shop at, they got they got the copies, just the physical copies of the game, but they didn't get any of the collector's editions. So either that, or you have to purchase it on Merge's website, or you did have to. But Merge is publishing a lot of cool indie games. Like, they published Dead Cells as well.
Yeah.
As Moonlighter. So that's pretty cool. But just talking about some sweet indie games and such, we'll move over to our next story. This is the last news story we're really going to cover in depth today, or as much as we have. This is on IGN, written by Adam Bankhurst, and it is all 9 games featured in the Nintendo Indie Highlights presentation. So,
yay!
Yeah, if you guys missed this, which I did until Errol said something about it today, Nintendo put out this video of Indie Highlights. How would you explain this, Errol?
Nintendo of Europe was like, hey, we're gonna have an Indie Highlights video again, and then they put it up, and they're like saying what new indies were coming to Switch this year. So far.
Yeah, I definitely hope there's not just 9 new indies coming to Switch this year. There's a bunch. These are
no.
Cool.
I just mean, like, this is the first one of
I know.
several. Just the first one of the year.
Yeah.
And we might even get, because that was for Europe, we might get, like, they're only called Nindies in North America, so we might get a Nindies Direct, like, in a couple days, who knows? Or, like, a full-on Nintendo Direct with indies in it. I don't know.
No, I really hope that happens. Yeah, there was definitely, like, a bunch of rumors and stuff, but a lot of people thought they, like, shadow dropped this, which I guess they kind of, like, didn't they do the same thing when they released the last Indie Highlights thing? They just kind of like, oh no, what got shadow dropped was a game in it. That's what happened. Like, one of the games released, wasn't it?
The Indie Highlights last time I felt like came out of nowhere. This one was, like, actually pre-announced.
Interesting. But the main meat of this article and the indie highlights was a bunch of really cool games that were announced. I'm just going to list them off real quick and then we can talk about them individually. So we've got Wargroove, SteamWorld Quest,
Yes.
Hand of Gilgamesh, Crosscode, Double Kick
Yes.
Heroes, When the Ski Lifts Go Wrong, Forager, because once again the reading thing. Goat Simulator, The Goaty, Inmost, Unruly Heroes, and yeah, that's what we got on here. A lot of cool games on here. I've been following Wargroove on Twitter for a while, and it looks awesome. I'm very excited about this. Did you play like Advanced Wars, or are you a big Fire Emblem fan?
I have Advanced Wars 2 because I got it from my friend. I haven't gotten the chance to play it, but since last year I got so much like more into strategy games with like
Into
the
Breach.
Breach and Mutant Year Zero and Vistaria Saga. I'm like, okay, I need to try Wargroove because it looks really fun.
Yeah, it looks really awesome. I'm into it. I'm not super into strategy games just entirely, but I was really like excited about it just because that sweet art style.
And it has like local and online multiplayer and the map creator, and you can create your own campaigns and stuff. And your own cutscenes. That's crazy.
I did not know that. That's really fucking cool. I didn't like I try to go on mostly media blackout for games that I really want because I'm ever since like games like Destiny and stuff, I've just been a little bit too burnt on getting hyped, so I just kind of try to stay out of it as much as I can. I mean, obviously I like fangirl over lots of stuff. SteamWorld Quest looks really cool. It reminds me like it's much more like SteamWorld Heist than it would be SteamWorld Dig. But I think it looks really cool. It's a role-playing card game that is the fifth SteamWorld title by Imagine and Forum Games. SteamWorld Quest allows you to lead a party of 3 into battle. Over 100 unique punch cards, including Kilovolt, Ice Shards, Dragon's Roar, Hot Iron, Burning Desire, and more. Burning Desire. It's like Burning Loins. I think it looks really cool. I'm like kind of like a standby fan when it comes to the SteamWorld games. Like I like SteamWorld Heist, and I really love the art style of the SteamWorld games. But I haven't played either of the SteamWorld Dig games, and I don't know what the other one is. There's supposedly 4 before SteamWorld Quest. There's 2 Digs, Heist, and I don't know what the 4th would be.
I don't know. I've never played any of those, so I'm not.
There you go. All right. Well,
sure.
There's also Crosscode was announced. This is one that Josh has been like orgasming over for,
It's awesome. I played the demo a little bit.
I played the demo a little bit. People really like this game. Jason Schreier has been like really gushing over it on Twitter as well since this was announced. The biggest announcement on these is that they are either coming to Nintendo Switch soon. Like Wargroove got February 1st, 2019 release date for Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, PC, with the PS4 coming later. The SteamWorld Quest was just announced, but it is coming to Nintendo Switch in 2019. Crosscode is coming to Nintendo Switch in 2019. Double Kick Heroes is coming to the Nintendo Switch first in the summer of 2019. When Ski Lifts Go Wrong is actually available now. You guys can pick that up on the Nintendo eShop. And I'm assuming Steam. It just says PC, so either Steam, the Epic Store, Discord, something
It's somewhere.
Like that. Yeah, the Forager is going to be coming soon to Nintendo Switch and PC. That one seems to be a full-fledged just announcement of a game. Goat Simulator is available now on the Nintendo Switch, and Inmost is coming 2019 to the Nintendo Switch first. And Unruly Heroes is available now on Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PC. The one that I found like really, really exciting that I really want to play, other than Wargroove Crosscode is actually Inmost. I think that looks really, really cool. It's an atmospheric, story-driven platformer that features 3 playable characters: a knight, a creature, and a stranger, as they explore an old abandoned castle. Each character's tale Yeah, their tales are interconnecting, which supposedly take place over two worlds, like across two worlds.
Huh.
I think that's really cool, and the art style is really really awesome. I in the trailer there's the knight, which I've seen. Then there's what I'm assuming is the stranger. He just looks like a dude. And then the third one where it says the creature, it just kind of looks like a little girl. Unless I'm just missing which one's supposed to be a creature. I don't really know. But yeah, Inmost looks really, really cool. It's very dark and dreary, a lot of grays and blacks. But it looks awesome. The art style reminds me a little bit of Octopath Traveler, but obviously not the like 2.5 HD or whatever that they trademarked this week. That title. And you've actually played Unruly Heroes, right?
No, I haven't played it yet. No.
You're killing me, Errol.
I'm going to be playing it soon. It looks cool. What interested me is that from what I read, it said from some of the developers of Rayman, but it wasn't that specific. So I'm not sure if it meant like Rayman back in the day or like, Rayman Legends. I'm thinking probably like Rayman Legends.
I'm pretty sure it means Rayman Arena, actually.
I like that game. I had that on PS2. That was pretty fun.
I've never played it. I just constantly like shop for games that I'm never gonna play, and I always come across Rayman Arena, and I'm like, maybe I should actually pick this up to look at, not play, because I'm a psychopath.
It's not a good game.
Wow, way to just cost my local game store a sale, Errol. I'll make sure that I tell them.
But it's a fun game. It's dumb fun. That's what I remember from it. Nice. I haven't played it in years. But anyway, yes, Unruly Heroes looks cool. Double Kick Heroes, I think, is a cool concept.
It really annoys me that there's like a Forager and Double Kick Heroes. I know that they both got trailers, but for some reason they don't have them in this article, and it really bothers me. I really don't like it. Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah, Forager kind of looked cool too, but I thought of you exactly when he used the pickaxe.
Does he do it? Does he fucking do this stupid pickaxe shit?
I don't know if you think the pickaxe animation is stupid, but he used a pickaxe.
As long as he moves his fucking arm when he does this pickaxe thing and doesn't look like he's like doing the wave, I'll be fine. I'll play this game. It looks cute. There's freaking radishes with faces. It looks cute, guys.
Oh yeah, that was messed up. Like, we love you, and he just Jesus.
So I'm really excited about this. Obviously, like, the more indie games news that comes out, the better, especially because a lot of really cool indie games coming to the Nintendo Switch. But it's go ahead.
Hold on. I actually didn't expect, because, the last Nindies Direct, we got Into the Breach shadow dropped, and I was like, oh my god, and then like, today, I just didn't expect anything. I'm just like, I don't think we're going to get anything that big, and then freaking Crosscode happens, and, I mean, I knew Wargroove was probably going to happen soon, but Crosscode, I think, was a huge thing.
I'm going to be honest, I kind of wish... So last week, the developers of Eagle Island announced that Eagle Island was also going to be released on the Nintendo Switch. This was, of course, before they went to PAX South, because they had a booth there. So I understand why they needed to, like, they just kind of get hype around their game before going to PAX South, announce that it's coming to Nintendo Switch. But I think it would have been cool to just save this for this Indie Highlights, because then, like, the entire Nintendo audience that at least watches or follows the directs or the indie highlights, whatever, would have actually seen the Eagle Island is actually coming to the Nintendo Switch, which looks really cool. It's a 2D action platformer with procedurally generated levels based entirely around falconry. It's really fucking weird.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying stuff about that.
Yeah, it looks really awesome. I'm very excited about it. It's one of the games that I'm looking forward to most in 2019. I'm hoping they'll give us a release date soon because This will be awesome. But, of course, we've got a bunch more news stories while we move into our news cram section.
Cram.
I'm glad that you did that just like Josh does. Otherwise, that would have been a really uncomfortable pause for a while. No big deal.
I almost did.
So for our news cram this week, of course, I just list off a couple different news stories that you guys can go check out, and I will try to list where they are to make them easier for you guys to check. We've got Atlas server brought down again, which is depressing. This time by giant whales and tanks is over on Polygon. Book of Demons is heading to consoles. Book of Aliens still a few years away, in quotations, is over on Twinfinite. Among the Sleep will creep onto the Nintendo Switch. I don't like that title. That's a bad one. I don't know why. I hate it so much. That one is over on Twinfinite. And the last news crime title is Sandbox CRPG Project Witchstone confirmed as Spearhead Games' next title. Of course, Josh is not on the podcast conveniently when Book of Demons is actually relevant. Good job, Josh. I hope you're listening to this.
I played Spearhead Games' last game, Omen Sight.
I have not played it, but I have it written on my whiteboard that's less than a foot away from me for some reason. I don't know why.
I liked it, but like it wasn't. It was kind of cool, hack and slash adventure with different like pathways, and you're trying to solve this mystery of like what really led the kingdom to fall, and you're just trying to see like who the major players in the event are and who did what or what caused what, and then you keep going back in the timeline and partnering up with these different characters, and then it just has all these different branching pathways. It was a cool concept. I just feel like it could have been executed a little better.
I feel like that's a lot of games. Like Atlas seems like a really cool concept. Probably could have been executed better. Same thing could be said about communism. Not trying to get political, just saying. I think the Atlas story is actually really funny because if you guys read into it, which I would recommend over on Polygon once again, guys, check it out. It basically somebody like I hate to use this word loosely, but apparently like hacked in to one of the like designers' accounts and started spawning like fucking whales and tanks into the game, which caused the servers to shut down. And apparently there were a couple streamers who actually captured this on stream because they were playing it and they were all like, "Holy shit, dude! I'm gonna fucking ride this tank." It's weird. It was like some weird stuff happened, but
what the heck?
That's just so special. There's no like. I'm so glad that somebody caught that on live stream because it's a special moment that's now saved in history, and I think it's Great Shot Games. Yeah, now their downfall is recorded on live stream. So, of course, it is time to move on to our next section of the podcast. This is God Bless the Crowd, where normally my co-host Josh goes into different crowdfunding sites, pulls out a couple games, and we talk about them. This time I did it because I did it on my own, guys. I'm not as dumb as I seem, but I really am. I popped in to Kickstarter, picked out 2 games that I think are really cool. One of them actually either announced or just featured on the Kind of Funny Game Showcase, and the other one looks real murdery and rapey. It's a little weird.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude. Seems pretty weird.
We don't use those words
here. You gotta
here.
watch the trailer. I've said much worse. I talked about Josh's balls last week. No big deal. So we've got Tunche. I'm gonna say that's how you say that, Tunche, and the Blind Prophet, Blood of the Apostate, Apostle, not apostate. It's just apostle. So I want to talk about Tunche first. A charming hand-drawn return to 2D beat 'em up genre mixed with roguelike elements, 4-player co-op, and a dash of shaman witchcraft. They are asking for $35,000 as their goal, and they are already they're not halfway there, but they're pretty close. They're 14,500. They have 367 backers with 21 days to go. Make sure you guys go check these out. They are both on Kickstarter. They both look really cool. But of course, I need to talk a little bit of shit about these games, guys. I need to talk about, I'm going to look right now because I forgot to check before, but I need to find out if they fucking, 18 left out of 20. I need to find out if they offered people to make their game for them, because that's always my issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do find it really cool when they offer you to meet the development team. That's a really interesting like little bit. We had that actually like last week, I think. Yeah, I think it was with Little Legend. You could go to France and actually meet the team, but you had to pay like $9,000. I was like, holy shit, dude. I could just go to France.
Yeah,
and
if you can
possibly
afford
run
that,
into
you might be going to France anyway.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I could just pay to go to France and then just casually run into you in a super creepy way. No big deal. That's all I'm asking. So we got a bunch of cool characters in Tunche. I'm probably totally butchering this. This game looks really, really cool.
Tunche?
Yeah, whatever.
Tunche.
Let's go.
I don't know.
We've got the shaman, the accursed, which is a boy with wings. That was really interesting. Or nope, it's definitely a boy because there's no boobies. You got the warrior, and the humble, which, I mean, he's like a wrestler. He looks like Incineroar kind of, but a chubby kid instead. What is Tunche? In Tunche, players will explore a magical Amazon jungle in search of the mythical entity of the same name, fighting I really hate the use of the word fantastical. Just anytime anybody uses it, it sounds like a made-up word. I really don't like it. Fantastical beasts.
I'm going to use it in my next article for Parallax.
I'm so glad that I'm not going to read it then. The entry level bit that you could do for this one is only $5. You just show your support. You get some digital goodies, I guess. You got to pay $20 to actually get the game. Which, I mean, we've spoke about this before in God Bless the Crowd. It's a little bit of a steep barrier for entry on this one. I wonder if they actually had like an early bird that they're all sold out of now. Yep. Traveler early bird, $15 instead. A lot of people do early birds. I actually saw one the other day while I was looking through these that had like 4 different early bird things, like $1 cheaper, or like $1 cheaper, $1 more than the next. It was really weird. I just thought I'd say that. Huh. Are you a fan of 2D beat 'em ups?
However it's pronounced, it looks cool. This was the one where it looked like it was just... It's the one where there are different waves of enemies, right?
Yeah,
That's what I
think so.
remember from the trailer. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of... I don't know. I'm not really into games like that because I'm like... I just wonder if it was going to just be a mobile game originally and they decided to put it on consoles just because it's like, you know, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. And if that's all it is, I'm like, good for the people who like that. I don't know if I'm that into it. I like the art design though.
Yeah, the art looks really, really cool. Once again, too bad Josh is not on the freaking podcast because he is obsessed with co-op games. It's ridiculous. And he's also obsessed with card games, so he could have spoke about the SteamWorld Quest as well.
I mean, not to go off on a tangent, but since the development team is in France, like, and the art style is like pretty much like anime inspired.
Oh, this development is in Peru, I think. The France one was Little Legend.
Oh, never mind.
I mean, you could finish your thing.
I was
though.
going to go on this whole tangent about like the anime inspired cartoons from France.
Never mind then, I guess. No, these guys are in Lima.
We'll save that
Peru.
for another podcast.
Save it for next time when we could talk about the games being developed in France. Yeah, Tunche looks really cool. I think it looks awesome. If you guys are fans of 2D beat 'em ups, check it out over on Kickstarter. You guys can get the barrier of entry for $20, I guess. No more early bird. Or you could just be like get some digital stuff and do $5. The other game, of course, is the Blind Prophet: Blood of the Apostle. It is a dark and mature point-and-click adventure and narrative game set in a corrupted city. The guy looks a lot like Geralt, but of course blind and doesn't bang chicks. I'm assuming since he's an apostle, which Geralt does a lot of.
Oh, you're just comparing him to Geralt.
Okay, he's got this fat sword, he's got white hair, and he looks creepy as shit. Like, I mean, that's all you really need for Geralt. The art style is very similar to Hellboy, which I actually think is really, really cool. It looks really dark and really interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so I don't usually play point and click games. And like back in the day, I played like Spy Fox, Pajama Sam, Putt Putt, Freddy the Fish, that kind of stuff. But recently, last year, one of the best point and click games I ever played was Unavowed.
I've never played Unavowed. I've never even heard of it.
You never heard of Unavowed?
No.
I know it got a 9 from GameSpot, and it's pretty critically acclaimed. It's a really good, like, point-and-click adventure. It's about kind of the mythological world hidden in New York City, and, like, all this supernatural stuff going on. And there are, like, genies in it, and demons, and mermen, and you have to, like, solve puzzles different ways, and different characters you can use for their abilities, different ways you can solve stuff. I really liked it, and the voice acting was cool. It had, do you know the really popular, well, he's a voice actor too now, but he started on Vine, ProZD.
I'm not actually a Vine kid. I'm actually not really even a child of the internet. I'm more of just an old man in a 23-year-old's body.
Wait, what? Do you know Sungwon Cho? Maybe you follow him on Twitter.
I'm going to tell you right now, you could say basically anything, and I'm going to say no. Anything that's really a product of the internet, I don't know.
Well, but he voice acted in it, and I was like, why is his voice so familiar? And then I see the credits, and I'm like, oh, what the heck? I had no idea.
Nice, yeah. The Blind Prophet looks really, really cool. I think it looks awesome. I don't play a lot of 2D, like point, or not, I mean, it is 2D, but I don't play a lot of like point and click adventure games either, but this one looks really cool. It's much more mature. The features are traditional point and click mechanics, mind-bending puzzles, a world full of charismatic characters ready to talk and interact with, ethical choices that drive the narrative, comic art style, cinematics, and a strong storyline about philosophy, redemption, and moral struggle. I think it looks so cool, and I'm like, once again, just like yours, I don't have like a huge wealth of point and click games that I've played before. I also played Pajama Sam because it was cool. But I really like the art style, and I love games that are featuring this really cool like comic like style. Sorry, I got distracted. This really cool comic style, like games like Darkest Dungeon and there's a game I had in my head that Josh was talking about like last week that looked really cool, but yeah, you know what I mean. Darkest Dungeon is by far the most popular one using comic book style at this point. Yeah, I think this game looks really cool. I just realized I actually forgot to say anything about its goal. It's got an $11,366 goal, which is a very like oddly specific goal. It has $8,097 already pledged to it. Has 300 backers and 18 days left to go. By the time that this publishes, they'll have like 16 days left to go. So make sure to go check out these games, Tunche, however you say that, and The Blind Prophet, Blood of the Apostle, over on Kickstarter. Very easy to find. Just go to the games tab, then explore games and check those out. Guys, I figured it out. I know how to use Kickstarter now. Don't worry. Josh will still have to do it every week, though, because he picks better games that Errol tends to hate more. So, no big deal. Now it's...
You're going to be like, this is so unfair.
Yeah, right. He doesn't hate mine as much as he hates yours, Josh. Now it is time to move on to the most annoying part of the podcast. This is the indie games release schedule. This is where I put together a release schedule of indie games that are coming out each and every week. These coming out the week of January 20th through the 26th. There's a lot of them. A decent amount of them. It's a stark contrast to last week's where we had basically like 5 games. First, I'm going to start off with multiple. Then we'll go to PS4, Xbox One, the Switch, and then we'll go to Windows PC. So to start off multiple, we have Demon's Tilt comes to Windows PC and Mac Monday, January 21st. At Sundown, Shots in the Dark comes to Xbox One and Switch Tuesday, January 22nd. Future Grind comes to PlayStation 4, Switch, and Windows PC on Tuesday, January 22nd. The Hong Kong Massacre, which looks really cool, is coming to PlayStation 4 and Windows PC Tuesday, January 22nd. Jack Quest, The Tale of the Sword, comes to PlayStation 4, Switch, and Xbox One Thursday, January 24th. That one looks really cool as well. Now moving on to PlayStation 4, we've got A Fisherman's Tale. Actually is out right now on PlayStation VR, and one of my games of the year, Wonder Song, was announced and released for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 recently, like within the past 2 weeks. It's awesome. It's out now. Make sure you guys go pick it up. It's very awesome. Greg Lobanov, one of the creators, really, really cool guy. We actually have an interview with him up right now. He's freakishly positive. It's it's very creepy. Now on to the Xbox One titles. We have Heroes Trials. It comes to Xbox One Wednesday, January 23rd. The Walking Vegetable My mouth is like super dry right now. It's very upsetting. The Walking Vegetables Radical Edition comes to Xbox One Wednesday, January 23rd. Unruly Heroes comes to Xbox One Wednesday, January 23rd. And Steamroll comes to Xbox One Friday, January 25th. Okay, I gotta get a drink, dude. My mouth is like a desert. It's like the Sahara or some other desert. I don't know any other deserts. I guess technically Idaho, where I live, is a desert, but it's like a desert oasis because we have such a large aquifer, I guess. I don't freaking know. We grow potatoes, guys. That's all anybody knows about us. No big deal. So for the Nintendo Switch list, we've got I Hug You, which is interesting. Comes to Switch.
I keep seeing that on the eShop, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, honestly, I'm very glad that I actually looked up a little bit about it just so I could say the name of it, because I Hug You is a weird name. It comes to Switch
it's all one word.
Monday, January 21st. We've got hashtag Kill All Zombies comes to Switch Thursday, January 24th. Achtung Cthulhu Tactics comes to Switch Thursday, January 24th. As Divine Hearts 2 comes to Switch Thursday, January 24th. Bad Dream Coma comes to Switch Thursday, January 24th. Cursed Castilla comes to Switch Thursday, January 24th. Doodle God Evolution comes to Switch Thursday, January 24th. Legrand Legacy, Tale of the Fate Bounds. That's such a weird name. Comes to Switch Thursday, January 24th. My Memory of Us comes to Switch Thursday, January 24th. Pikuniku comes to Switch Thursday, January 24th. Flowlines Versus, or just VS, comes to Switch Friday, January 25th. Heroes Trials comes to Switch Friday, January 25th. And INOPS comes to Switch Saturday, January 26th. Now for our last two games, and these are coming out on Windows PC. We've got Strange Telephone, which looks really cool. I'd definitely look it up if I were you guys.
That title.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Comes to Windows PC Monday, January 21st. And Derail Valley comes to Windows PC Friday, January 25th. Oh, my mouth is still super dry, Earl. It's an issue I have. So this is normally where we pick out one game and we talk about it a little bit more in depth if we really like it or anything like that. But I kind of just went through and talked about a shitload of games for some reason because I'm a crazy person. Jack Quest, the main character, has an afro. That is pretty interesting. I don't know why I like that, but I really do. And he's got a gigantic buster sword that he swings around like Guts from Berserk, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah, it looks really awesome. It's a 2D platformer. I'm very excited about it. I'm probably going to have to pick it up. Same thing with Hong Kong Massacre. It looks really cool. It's a lot like Hotline Miami. And of course, if I had a VR, I would actually pick up Derail Valley because it's a train game and derail is in the title. So I'm assuming it's something really fucked up. Like
it gets crazy.
Yeah, like it's all about derailing trains or something, or I'm suddenly in the plot of Unbreakable, something like that. I don't really know. It seems really cool though. Any games that you thought just really stood out to you? I hug you, right? You need some human
I just keep seeing it, and I'm just like, what is this? But no, Jack Quest I keep hearing about, and I think it looks cool. I already talked about. Did I talk about Unruly Heroes?
You said you did not play it.
No, but I do like that it's apparently based off Journey to the West, which is the same Chinese. I believe it's a Chinese mythology story that inspired Dragon Ball. And it's by the same developers as Rayman. I believe Rayman Legends, I would think. But it looks fun.
Speaking of Dragon Ball, that kind of puts me into our random question of the day. I just wanted to know why you hate me so much and you'd rather watch Dragon Ball instead of recording a podcast with me, Errol.
Don't.
What's up,
hey,
dude?
No. We saw it the next day. No, we saw it the next day.
Oh. Okay, dude. Okay, so you just skipped out on my podcast. That's cool. I mean,
no, I did have something. I forgot what I was doing last week, but I was doing something else.
This was the Broly movie, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was good.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed that so a lot of the movie theaters, and this does technically have to do with indie games because it's limited releases. So when Dragon Ball first came back to theaters with Battle of Gods, it was in a couple theaters, but not that many. And then they saw how much money it could make. So then the sequel, Resurrection F, was in all the theaters. But this one wasn't in as many theaters for some reason. And it made a ton of money. It's the second highest grossing anime film in the US behind Pokemon the first movie. Support anime releases, people, so they're not limited. So I don't have to go so far to a theater.
That's crazy. Yeah, the most recent anime release I went to My Hero Academia 2 Heroes, which was supposed to be in English, but it was not, and I was pissed. I was very upset about it.
Well, it was at least subtitled, right?
Yeah, it was subtitled, but if we're being honest, I really don't like to read. If that's shown at all in my reading of articles, it's probably just because I'm really
a
not good at
movie.
it.
I can understand. I don't mind watching shows subtitled.
Nah, dude, I'm a filthy casual. I'm all about that dub, bro. That's why I have a subscription to Funimation.
If I don't like the dub cast, then I'll watch the sub. But usually the dubs are fine. It just depends on the cast and how old the dub is.
Instead, the dub is just super different for some reason. They just say completely different stuff. One Punch Man, the dub is way less funny than the sub.
Really?
The sub is just so much funnier. Yeah.
Because I think
You think what?
I think the voice cast for that, they do a good job, but I've only watched the first episode dubbed.
See, it's not necessarily anything to do with the delivery of lines. It's the lines themselves are actually somewhat different in certain scenes. So in the second episode where he squashes the Mosquito Queen, spoilers, I guess, the Mosquito Chick Queen, whatever her freaking name is, it's the second or third episode. It's not that far in. When he kills her in the subbed, he just says mosquitoes suck. And for some reason that was the funniest fucking thing ever to me. But then in the dub he just says I hate mosquitoes. And I'm like, who fucking doesn't? Get your head out of your ass. Jeez, Saitama. God.
But he said the same, that's the same thing.
There's I hate mosquitoes and then mosquitoes suck. One is really funny, the other one is dumb. That's all I had to say.
That's not any...
We'll just agree to disagree, Errol. Go watch freaking Dragon Ball Z again. Jeez.
Okay, well, was that your actual weird question that you do? Or do you have
I didn't really have one. I forgot what I was going to say, so I was just like, hell, dude, let's talk about freaking
so just
anime,
picking
bro.
On me for supporting a limited release.
I'm not picking on you because supported a limited release. I'm picking on you because you abandoned me to not watch the movie. And instead did something forgettable.
If it makes you feel better, it was raining really hard when we got out of the movie, and I had to...
Did you get poked in the eye by an umbrella?
Walk a bit in the rain. No, we didn't have umbrellas, but I almost slipped and fell and cracked my head open.
That does make me feel better, thank you. Thank you. But of course, this has been the Indie Incursion podcast. We release this each and every week. It normally uploads on Friday unless I'm exceptionally lazy or I just forget about it, I guess. I don't really know. I'm not really on top of whatever this podcast is supposed to be, you know what I mean? This podcast is where we bring you some indie games news, release schedules, some Kickstarters, and all sorts of other cool stuff. We also, on occasion, actually talk to some indie game developers, but that's just, once again, if I'm not lazy and they at all can schedule with us, because it's actually surprisingly hard. It's really annoying. I hate it. I love talking to them. I just hate having to schedule it. It's really bothersome. Thank you guys so much for listening to this. If you guys would like to follow us outside the show, you can follow me at Hyde Legion, and you can follow Errol at Errol M, correct? On Twitter?
Yep.
Boom, dude.
Yep, that's me.
I've got our freaking stuff down. Josh's, it took me like 5 episodes to do it. I got his down pat. I'm not even worried about it.
Well, his is weird.
Yeah, and Alex, we don't even know what his is. He hasn't been on it a while. He just doesn't care. He hates me. No big deal. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. And that's about it. Yeah, I forgot how I end these. Oh yeah, have a great day. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.